I just wanted to take this time in this video to give you guys that real on membership clubs. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Erin, and this is Erin On Demand, a place for entrepreneurs and content creators looking to build your brand, business, and impact. And y'all, today we are talking about membership clubs and whether or not I think it's a good idea to start one on your own for some extra income. Now, I get a lot of questions on this because I have my own membership club. It's called the eBrand Club, and I personally think it's just the best membership club in the world. But it is a membership club for startup entrepreneurs, side hustlers, or content creators looking to take their business to the next level. So basically, if you're a content creator, how you can monetize your content to make a sustainable business, or if you are a startup entrepreneur, how can you use content to drive more business into your business? So that is the premise of my club, and I started it in July of 2019. As of April 3rd, when I'm recording this, 2020, there are over 600 members in the eBrand Club, which, oh my God, it's so mind-blowing to even think about that. With having a membership club, I experience all of the challenges and the greatness that come from it, and I want to break down those pros and cons for you guys. Now, to start, how do I host my membership club? Basically, it is completely hosted on Facebook. So the process is you go to my website, you sign up for the eBrand Club. So it is through PayPal. So you will pay through PayPal. And then once we get this notification, bing, somebody has paid for the eBrand Club, the confirmation page will send them straight to the Facebook group where they will request to join. Basically, administratively, we go in, we make sure that the person matches the, that the things match, and we will let them in the club. So it takes a little time for us to confirm, but once we confirm, you will then be let into the Facebook group. That is where everything is housed. So all of our past live lessons, all of our master classes, everything we do in the club is on the Facebook group. There are so many other platforms, I'm sure, that you can host a membership club. Some people do it straight from their website. So on their site, they will have a login for members, and they can go in on the site and get into the club or get to access to the content. But I didn't want to do my membership club on my website. Facebook group had been built in such a collaborative way already, and a lot of people already spend so much time on social media, and especially Facebook. So I felt like it would increase the amount of engagement because people are familiar with Facebook. 9 times out of 10 people have experienced what group interaction in Facebook is like. And also, people are on it for leisure. So when they're on for leisure and they see, a notification from the club, it makes it just easier to always be in front of the members. That is why and how I'm hosted completely on Facebook. Now, let's get into the pros and cons now that you guys have a better understanding of the type of membership club that I have. Okay, so let's start with the pros. The first pro is the biggest pro, which is regulated income. And that is why membership clubs are so powerful and have always pretty much been a popular business model, but I feel like they're really growing into a super popular business model, especially for more smaller business owners, because it really does regulate your cash flow. And that was a big problem that I was noticing my business was having, was when I was doing video production, or even when I was doing, brand coaching and things like that, it was spotty. Like, you don't know how many clients you're going to have month to month. So I was like, okay, how can I figure out a way to retain people, keep them in my business for a while? And this was the best option for us. So, even if you look at your cable company or your, Netflix, or, even like local businesses, restaurants, I have a wine membership with a local restaurant. A lot of businesses already understood how important having a subscription-based revenue stream is, especially right now as we're going through the pandemic with the coronavirus. So I would definitely say that the number one pro of having a membership club is the regulated income. The second pro is you have a very strong tribe. So these people who are going to join your club are definitely dedicated to you. And this is like probably one of the best parts to me about having a club, because the people in there are like the first supporters. They're the first to watch my YouTube videos. They're the first to, if I were to release a product, I'm sure they would be the first to buy it. They are definitely high level supporters because they've already bought in. They have buy-in to your business. And those people are the ones who more than likely are going to continue to support you, whether it's through your membership club or through other services that you offer. The next pro kind of piggybacks off the last, in the sense that because you do have such a strong community standing behind you, because this is your tribe, these are your people. Okay, it is a lot easier to upsell them. They're already such high level supporters. So when someone is subscribing to support you through a monthly fee, that means that they're pretty dedicated to you, which is why, you got your tribe, like the last point. So they are easy to upsell because not only they're super supporters, but two, you have a lot of information about them. You know what kind of businesses they're running. You know what kind of pain points they're experiencing. You know what kind of questions they're asking. So you can use those triggers and kind of create more products or more services that will even further answer those questions that they may have. So you have a lot more information and a lot more of a direct connection with them in your membership club because they're there. It's a smaller group of people opposed to my YouTube channel where there may be thousands of people who I can't get to as easily as I can with my club. So it is just a much more refined group of people. The fourth pro is the impact and accountability. So by being in a group, it creates accountability because, you're in this group with other people who are like-minded, who are all kind of set in the same direction with their mindset, and they want to elevate, whether it be their business or their social channels or whatever skills they're trying to improve on. And so it's really cool to have that level of accountability, but also to see the impact that it is having on people. When people post saying how they hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers, or how their business saw X amount of revenue this month, or how choosing, a certain thumbnail or podcast cover helped them in, getting more listeners or viewers, that is the type of up close impact that I get to see every day, and nothing beats that. It really helps you put into perspective like the lives that you are able to touch. So having the membership club and seeing that direct impact is a really powerful thing that kind of keeps you going when things get tough about managing a membership club, which is a great segue into the cons. The first con is it takes a lot to grow a membership club. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. Let's start with time. I thought about the idea in June. My mom and I thought about it in June, and then by July we were launching. And when we launched, we were like, okay, we probably get 150 people on the first day. We're thinking of these numbers that we will likely get. I had about 25,000 subscribers on YouTube at the time. So I'm like, okay, that's less than 1%. That's like such a small percentage. And I had run some polls on my channel, and like over 500 people said that they would be totally interested. And the day of, guess how many people joined? It was about 40 people who joined, and we still have some of the OG members who joined on the very first day. I think there is a little over 20 of them. It takes a lot of time. So then we're sitting back like, well, where are the people at? Who said they was gonna join? So you cannot expect for you to launch this club and it just takes off, especially with only putting out 1 or 2 announcements that you are starting the membership club. So you definitely have to be very aggressive in your marketing, not just before you release the club, but once it's out, like constantly pushing out that you have a club and different things that you can do to kind of gain people's interest in joining your club. It takes a lot of energy. You aggressively have to promote it because there are going to be people coming in and there are going to be people leaving. Making sure that as people may trickle out, that even more people are coming in, because you want to keep that cash flowing. You don't want to have 100 members one month and then 20 members the next month. You want to keep people coming in. So making sure that you're retaining and gaining numbers in the club is a challenge for sure. The second thing is the administrative tasks. This is a beast, okay? And it's probably because of the way that we host the club. I ended up choosing Facebook because I thought interactively it would be a lot easier. But on the back end, administrative wise, it is more manual labor. You know, we get the confirmation from PayPal that someone has signed up, and then they have to request to join the club. And then once they request, we have to go in, add to our spreadsheet, you know, when they joined and their information, and then we let them in. And we have to make sure that we are staying very organized with managing all of the back end. That is a con of using Facebook. I think Facebook is coming out with a membership, if they haven't already, a membership platform, but they take a big percentage. So I was like, we can't do that. So my mom manages all of the admin, and she's able to, you know, she keeps the spreadsheet. She keeps track of who's coming in, who's going out. She lets people in. She lets posts public into the club because we do have some post restrictions. And she just really helps to manage. So I would say if you are thinking of starting a membership club, it is nearly impossible to do it all by yourself. Like, you're going to need some help, whether you hire on a virtual assistant to help you manage those types of things, or if you have somebody in your family that you can pay and you can get help from them, because I don't even know, I probably would have canceled the club if I had to do all of this by myself. It is that serious with making sure that the back end stays organized. Okay, so the next thing is figuring out the flow of the membership club and what kind of value you're going to provide. So when I first started, I kind of just started and I was like, okay, like, this is my club, and I didn't really know how I was gonna run the club. Like, I had things that I wanted to do, and I had brainstormed, and I said, you know, I want to do spotlights and this and that and this and that. And then when it started, I was kind of like, okay, so when do I do all this stuff, and how do I do all this stuff? And so you definitely have to find your flow. And when we first launched, we didn't have like a real agenda. It was kind of just like, okay, today I'm gonna post the tip of the day, and then tomorrow I'm gonna post, you know, a question and a poll, and then the next day I'm gonna do a video, and then the next day I'm gonna go live. And I kind of just was going with it. And then members were starting to be like, okay, well, like, can we see what's coming down the pipe? So I was making a weekly agenda, and I would release this agenda every week. And then it was starting to be too much to like make the weekly agendas, and it was a lot. So then people were like, well, can we just see the whole month? And so I was like, you know what, that's smart. So I started making monthly calendars, and I would plan out, you know, what we would do for the month. Now, especially when I first started, I was just overkilling. Like, I was trying to have something to do every single day, and members were starting to say, okay, this is like, I can't keep up. So you have to be able to read your group. You have to be able to take feedback and really apply it quickly so that you keep your members happy. Finding that flow is really important. I think now we have definitely found the flow of the club. And once you do find that flow, now it's like, okay, so how can I bring back some of the creativity of the club? And how can I introduce new and fresh things that we may not have done before, because now we're so into this flow that we've established. So it's just kind of about reading the club and kind of going with the ebbs and flows of it, which can be a challenge. The fourth con or challenge is having high engagement when you first start. So kind of like with getting people in the club, once you do get people in the club, it's kind of hard to get them to post and say things. At least that was my experience. I felt like people were a little nervous. They didn't really know what to ask or what to post. It was kind of like a timid, like, we're just first meeting type thing. And I just kind of kept prompting things, like making posts that built their engagement, or, you know, doing little giveaways and things like that to just keep them, pulling into the club, and also giving them ideas on what to post so that they don't feel like, well, I don't know what's okay to post or what's not okay to post. So getting that engagement in the beginning is tough, especially if you have only a couple of members, like 5 members that you're starting with when you launch. It's you have to treat them like they are the kings and queens, because you want them to stay in the club and you want them to tell other people about the club. And I'm very sure that people who are in my club now haven't just heard from me on YouTube talking about it. Like, these are people who my members are telling, like, I'm in this club, or they're posting on their Insta stories and people are like, well, what is this club? And they're, referring out. So you want to really value those people who are in your club currently, whether it's 2 people or 200 people, or 2,000 people. You really have to show people that you are there. And I would say on the flip side, now that my group is over 600 people, it can be tough to keep up. Like, there are constantly posts coming in, there are constantly questions. I have to devote a certain amount of attention to my club because they're paying for a heightened level of attention from me than, people from YouTube. Like, if I don't reply to YouTube comments, then it's not as noticeable. People don't have that high of an expectation as maybe in the club, where if there's a question and they've tagged me in it and I never respond, then it can be a bit, they're like, well, dang, I'm paying for this. So just making sure that I'm staying active in the club can also be very time demanding. So I just wanted to take this time in this video to give you guys that reel on membership clubs, because although yes, it is an amazing stream of income. If you guys haven't seen my streams of income video, I will link it. I will put a little blurb right here so you can see what the thumbnail looks like, but I will link it in the end cards. The membership club does bring in a great amount of revenue, 5 figures a month from me currently. And it's incredible, but it is a lot to manage. It is what takes up most of my time when I'm working. And so, I just wanted people to get a good understanding on, yes, it is great, but you do have to make sure that it's something that you are ready for, because the time and the energy that you're going to have to put into it, when you go on vacation, when you go, if you want to, I'm getting married at the end of the year or moving, like, my club still has to manage. So figuring out, people pay for that month, so they're expecting a month's worth of content. So making decisions and figuring out how to just keep it running is something that you want to make sure you have the time and energy for before you start. So I love you guys. If you have any questions on membership clubs, or if you are considering starting a membership club, please let me know in the comments below and leave me any questions you may have. Speaking of which, in my membership club, I have a whole live lesson on how to start a membership club, where I go through some of these things, but I actually give you guys a lot more depth on how to manage it, and some of the tools that have helped me with running my membership club. So I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.